Guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Mina, and in today's video I want to go over the pros and the cons of interlocking. Understand that there's no right answer to how you choose to maintain your locks. Some people like interlocking, some people like palm rolling. It all depends on your lifestyle, the look you're trying to achieve, your hair texture, a whole bunch of different factors that's going to determine if maybe interlocking is better for you or maybe palm rolling is better for you. But at the end of the day, just understanding that there's no right or wrong answer. In this video, I have 4 pros and 4 cons to interlocking. Again, this isn't a should you or should you not interlock. It's just, hey, here's some pros about it. Here's some cons about it. Me personally, I'm someone that has ever since I've been on my lock journey, I chose to interlock my hair because it just fits with my lifestyle. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. I'm gonna start off with the cons first, give you the pros, and on a positive note. So the first con is that understand that when it comes to interlocking your hair, you do have the potential of damaging it if you're not doing it properly. Like with any hairstyle or any technique that you're using, you could damage your hair if you're doing it improperly. So the same thing applies for interlocking as well. Like if you are looping your hair around the same loop, because some people have run into that issue as well, that could cause holes to be in your locks and that could damage your locks. Also, if you interlock too frequently, that could cause damage to your hair. If you interlock too tightly, that could cause damage to your hair. So pretty much just understanding that if you do it improperly and incorrectly, you could cause damage to your hair. So moving on to number 2 for a con when it comes to interlocking for some people is that interlocking, the shape that comes with it, the shape is not as cylindrical or it's not as uniform if you were to palm roll your hair. So that's why some people like palm rolling, because it helps keep their hair, you know, like in that nice cylindrical shape, whereas interlocking, the shape is, it's cylindrical but not as uniform, because you can see when the last time the person had their hair interlocked, because it'll be like a little bump in the locks, which I don't mind, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't bother me, but for some people it does, so it might not be the road for you to take. On to number 3. If you're someone who wants to maximize on the thickness of your locks, you might not want to do the interlock method, because with interlocking, it confines your hair a lot more, so your hair doesn't swell up as much than if you were to choose palm rolling. You'll still achieve, you know what I'm saying, the lock look, but it just won't be as thick if you were to pick palm rolling. So that's another reason. My last and final con when it comes to interlocking is the amount of frizz. Because you're only interlocking the roots, you're not touching the rest of your hair, so over time there is a lot more frizziness that you would have to deal with than if you were to pick something as palm rolling, because the method itself allows for the hair to lay down, and over time you'll have less and less frizz, which is still the same thing with interlocking too. Like over time you'll have less and less frizz, but just in general there's more frizz that you have to deal with. So now that I've gotten all of the cons out of the way, it's time to talk about what are the pros to interlocking. One of the main pros that I like for interlocking is that you can go a longer time in between your maintenance routines. When it comes to palm rolling, people typically get their retwists done about once a month. But with interlocking, you can go a bit longer without having to do maintenance on your locks. So for myself, I typically retie my hair every 2 to 3 months. So in total, I'm probably doing my hair about 4 or 5 times out of the year, which for me is great because I am a lazy natural. However, I will say there's a bit of a caveat to this, because granted you can go a longer period of time without doing like your maintenance routine on your locks. The slight downfall or downside to this is that it takes longer to interlock your hair than it does to palm rolling. So that is another thing to think about too. Like I know for myself, since I am kind of lazy and I move a little slow, it probably takes me like 5 hours or so to interlock my hair. And if I take breaks, it's a lot longer. Whereas if you do palm rolling, you can probably get your hair palm rolled in about an hour or less. Another great thing about interlocking is that if you're someone who has a more active lifestyle, or let's say you wash your hair a bit more frequently, interlocking is going to be great because you don't have to worry about your locks coming undone or unraveling. Let's say, you know what I'm saying, you just got your hair retwisted and then maybe like 3 days later, you're like, okay, I'm ready to wash my hair, or you did a heavy workout or something like that, you're all sweaty and you want to wash your hair. You can do that with interlocking and not have to worry about your hair coming undone. Whereas with palm rolling, it would kind of be a waste of money to sit there and try to wash your hair just for it to unravel. So that's another great reason. Another pro about interlocking is that it works with a wide range of textures. So sometimes when it comes to palm rolling, it might not necessarily be for everybody because not everybody's hair texture is compatible with palm rolling, especially if you have hair that's considered more unruly, or you have hair that's not as easily shapeable or moldable. Interlocks might be a better alternative for you. A last and final pro when it comes to interlocking is that you don't need to use products when you interlock your hair, because your hair is being held in place by the method that you choose to use, which is retying or tying down the roots. The hair is not going to go anywhere. Whereas with palm rolling, not everyone can get away with just using, let's say, water or oil to retwist their hair. They might need to use some sort of holding product to hold the hair in place, such as a grease, a butter, or a gel, which, if you look at it from an economical standpoint, interlocking requires less money because you're not spending as much on hair products than if you were to go, let's say, palm rolling. But again, it depends. Like I said, some people can get away with just using oil and water to palm roll their hair, but some people can't. Yeah, overall, that is my take on the pros and cons to interlocking. Again, to sum this up, there's no right answer. You do what works best for you, your lifestyle, the look you're trying to achieve, etc. So I hope that you guys found this video helpful, especially for those that want to or are thinking about getting locks or something like that. But yeah, I hope to see y'all in the next one.